Hello everyone, and welcome to the FPL Ambassadors channel. This is our season
Hello.
review of the this is our season review of the just past season. I'm here, the FPL Ambassador Raymond with my very good FPL friend and analyst Rowland. Rowland, will you introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Rowland and I'm an FPL legend. And Raymond is a very good friend of mine.
Sure. And we are combining to form a very good winning team to help managers in FPL across Ghana, across the continent, Africa, and beyond as well. So we want to review the past season just gone by. I know we are all very concerned about the Euros, which is starting in just 3 weeks, 3 days time. But it's important that we review this. Otherwise, when the Euros starts, we might forget about all the lessons from this season. So we'll move in to, I believe everybody has had a very wonderful FPL season. Some of us had a not too good season. Some of us had quite very good season this year. But whatever it is, it's good that as the season ends, we pick some lessons from it and then look forward to the next season. It's true that in FPL, every season is different, but there are some key lessons that if we pick, it can help us to excel in the next season. That is season 2021 and then 2022. That's just ahead of us. Okay, Roland, how was your season this year? Was it a very good season?
It wasn't bad. I think I finished on a little above 200k.
A little above 200k. Yes, I remember during the season we were having some challenges where mostly outside the top 1 million, and
big time.
we had to find
Yeah.
strategies on how to move into the top 500k and beyond. Yes, but with one of us having finished the top 1,000 in the world and being the overall best FPL manager in Ghana, we have some kind of experience to be able to help managers searching for tips and strategies to win, especially their mini leagues and stuff like that. But today we won't talk about ourselves. We'll talk much about lessons from the past season. So pick our first lesson. There are many lessons. These are not our personal lessons. These are general lessons that cut across for everybody. Emi Martinez. Roland, what would you say about Emi Martinez?
Fantastic. You know, I wanted him last 2 seasons when they came back after the COVID. You know, and I think about the final 8 or so games, and he played for Arsenal when Leno was out. So I think I bought Leno. They had a double game week. I think Manchester City versus Arsenal, and another game week after that. And the second game week, Leno got injured. So I think Martinez came in and did well. But the as of that season, Pope was too good to be ignored. So we all went in for Pope. So when the season, that last season came, I wanted him. I think after the first game, I didn't have him in my team. But after the second game, oh boy, I needed to get him because I think the first game he made a penalty save and 10 points or 13 points or so. So just fantastic. I kept him throughout the season until I think the last few game weeks of the season. I think 34, 35. That's when I let go of him.
Sure.
But he was brilliant.
Very brilliant at a 4.5. Yes, same for me. Similar for me. I bought Martinez around game week 11 or 12. I think you remember my challenge of being able to get him because I had 3 Villa players in my team, along with the backup 4.0 Villa keeper.
Davis.
So because of that, yes. So it was always difficult for me to find a way of bringing him. I really had to struggle and plan of how to eliminate some of my Villa players to bring him. But when I brought him in, he really served me very good. And what I want to say about this for all managers is mostly we think about the keepers from Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea, and co because they are short of clean sheet. But it's been proven time and time again in the seasons past. We've had Dean Henderson, we've had Pope, we've had Tom Heaton, all 4.5 keepers who have used their save points and their ability to attract bonus points to be able to move to the top of FPL rankings. And I think that has been the team for the past 4 or 5 years. So The sad thing is that Martinez will not be
I think we should
4.5
give
next year.
a shout out to Ilya Melia.
Yeah, many of Leeds, yes. In fact, we all thought Leeds were going to be conceding a lot of goals, but even though they were conceding a lot of chances, he was gaining points through his save points. And that's one thing as all FPL managers we need to know. Any keeper that's the defense is quite loose, whereby he's saving a lot of shots, will surely get very good points at the end of the season. So let's note that as well.
Exactly.
Sure. I'm sure we'll have enough of Martinez. Let's move to our second point. So let's watch out for 4.4 million keepers next season as well. So second most important point. I think by now somebody will say fantastic for or fabulous for. What will you say about these guys?
Oh, these guys were good throughout the whole season. Unfortunately for KDB, got injured along the line, but the rest, I mean, they were good. I had all four during the season at some point.
Sure.
And they all served me well. I think I had Salah and Bruno for most of the season.
Part of the season.
I had Son for the beginning of the season. And yes, and KDB on and off. Until he got injured, I didn't want to sell him. So when he got injured, that's when I let him go.
Okay, not bad. Not
how
bad.
About you?
I think myself, at a point, I had KDB, Salah, and then Bruno between, I think, game week 14 through to game week 19. Had all those three, and it really served me. It was a very good differential for me because at that point, most people had disregarded KDB. So having him as part of these two was very good. But my main point here is that it's looking like as if the 3-5-2 is going to be one of the best formations this year. 3-5-2. And 3-5-2 because we are going to the 3-5-2 because you are going to realize that the top point scorers over the past 3 seasons are mostly the midfielders. I know we would want to have Harry Kane, but budget-wise, it might be good that we start investing to have the big hitters in midfield and then having some budget strikers in attack. So it means that most likely we need to invest more money in midfield. As we've seen this season, our top strikers didn't perform as well. And let's see if that trend might continue next season. Son, Bruno, Salah, there are more aside this. Grealish, Rashford, Gundogan, Lingard and co. They are all worth investing in. So let's see how the season will go as well. But I think this is a key point we need everybody to note as well. Anything before we move to the next point? Nothing much. Okay. So Dallas. Stewart Dallas is the new Lundstram. Yes, the new Lundstram of this season. We all.
Sorry, I'm back.
We all had. Yes, good, great. We all had Dallas at some point in the season. The previous season we had Lundstram of Sheffield, which all managers were good to have. And Dallas, I remember in one of our FPL experts group, was suggested as a player to watch, but because Leeds were having very terrible defense, I didn't consider him until he started hurting me, and then there was no option than for me to get him in. And I think in the weeks that I got him, he proved his worth. What do you think Dallas' position would be?
To add on to what you
sure.
I think just to add on to what you were saying, before the season started, everyone thought Luke Allen was the one to look out for.
Sure.
FPL experts over on Twitter and
FPL community
all were given the community was making us aware that Allen was more threatening than Dallas would be, right? And we just had a few people saying that because Dallas is a right-footed player playing on the left side of defense, so everyone thought it would be a bit difficult for him. But fortunately for us, he was moved into midfield, and that is what helped us.
Helped us as well. Yeah.
That he was playing. He was playing right behind the striker. I think it was the formation was such that it was 3-3-3-1. That's what Bielsa was playing. So that he was playing the third three close to the top. So it helped us a lot. but I doubt he would be made. He will still be a midfielder next season.
In fact, no, FPL wise, he wouldn't be a defender, but as you're saying, he will most likely be a midfielder, which might reduce his point total for us. But also, it's a good thing. So we have to spot out who would be the new Lundstram of the new season coming up. Okay,
yes,
good then. Okay, so let's pick our fourth point. Attacking fullbacks.
Attacking fullbacks.
Which of these impressed you this season?
Impressed. I think I had the only one I didn't have up here was Luke Shaw. I wasn't really convinced about him because Manchester United was leaking in a lot of goals, and I didn't feel he had. I couldn't just balance it. What if he didn't have any attacking return and he conceded two? And honestly, I didn't even want to consider bringing him in. He was in my thoughts, but I just refused to bring him in. But I had Cresswell and Cancelo. I think Cancelo was the best for me.
Yeah,
even though he flattered to deceive attacking wise, City kept a lot of clean sheets. So having him was just a plus. So if he doesn't even give you attacking returns, you know for sure that he'll give you a clean sheet. And Cresswell too, there was a time where West Ham were doing fantastic. Where, I mean, two set pieces, you knew he would get an assist to go with a clean sheet. So it was good. Trent, at the beginning, I remember we both had him. We had him for a period of time. We were being stubborn. We didn't want to sell him. Having a 7.5 million defender, it was tough letting him go because we felt at any point in time he could just show up and we could gain rank on others. But we realized getting to the end that no. Up until he got injured, we realized that there was no need keeping him.
Yeah.
So at least for out of the four, the two that really helped were Cancelo and Cresswell for me. By getting to the end, I brought back TA, and TA also proved to be good towards the end of the season.
Yeah, he helped us in pushing towards a better rank at the end of the season. Aside that, these are not the only attacking fullbacks that I think Tariq Lamptey was there. We had Kyle Walker-Peters, 4.5. Kyle Walker-Peters had become the season at least for certain periods of time. So, as you always say, when you are investing in defense, the best choice of defenders are the attacking fullbacks. No matter their prices, let's try and invest in them and let's see if they can give us a point for us to excel in the season ahead of us. Okay. Okay, so we'll move to our.
To talk about attacking fullbacks, before the season started, Doherty had moved from Wolves to Tottenham Hotspurs. Yes, and we all thought that because he had moved, Aurier would be displaced, but that wasn't the case. So I think at the beginning of the season, I had Doherty for like up to 8 or 9 game weeks, and he didn't give me any returns. Right? Yes, and so there are things that we should watch out for when players move from one team to the other. We cannot be too sure whether they will start or not. If you have inside sources that they would start, that's fine. Or if we get any information, you can share for everyone to be sure that the person will start, that the player will start. Other than that, let's just be a little bit cautious. Because there are other players who are already in the team who also want to stake a claim, like Aurier did, and he ended up displacing him. Doherty was nowhere to be found in the team. Yes.
Sure. That's very true. So, point number 5. Pep will still exit. I think we don't even need to talk about this again. Every FPL manager has one way or the other suffered from Pep's roulette, and I always say, me personally, I want Pep to leave the EPL because he's hurting the FPL. But I know I won't get my wish.
No, not at all. It won't happen. It won't happen.
Yes, but we can't underestimate Pep's rotation. It's such that City have a talent of attacking, a wealth of attacking talent, but Pep always puts FPL managers through hell to be able to decide. At a point in the season, I told myself I'm not buying any City player again because I was fed up, and In fact, I don't want to talk about this. Listen.
Well, you see that I think this season, among the other seasons, the previous seasons, was a bit easier to determine who would play because we
Okay.
realized that City had so many games to play. So now, if you watched very well before Stones came into the team, Laporte was the one that was playing, and
Sure.
Stones was given an opportunity to impress, and he did.
Mm-hmm.
And you could tell that Laporte was being used for the Carabao Cup, FA Cup, Champions League. So you could
Okay.
automatically tell that Stones would be used in the Premier League. And how you could also tell was that in certain games, say maybe the Champions League, Mahrez will be played, then you know that the weekend is most likely will be dropped, right? So at least in that sense, because City has so many games, it was a bit easier to determine. And you know that KDB will play almost every game,
Sure.
right? So
Sure.
so this season, I think that if it's anything to go by, then that means next season too, it will also be relatively easy for us to determine because at the start of the game weeks, you can't really tell who is going to play. But you
Mm-hmm.
know for sure that Pep always starts with players who have the form in the beginning of the season. So players
Okay.
like Sterling, like Mahrez, like KDB, he always starts with them at the beginning of the season because they are fast starters. But as the season wears on and he gets to know that they are getting tired, for instance, Sterling didn't play much towards the end of the season because he had lost form,
Mm.
and Foden was basically playing so well that he just couldn't be dropped. So in that sense, even though it still persists and we don't know who plays, just like towards the end of the season, I bought Mahrez, I had Stones, I had Cancelo, and all three were benched in one game. I think it was against
How?
Newcastle. So all three were yes. So it means that you know that the next game, once they were benched in that game, the next game they'll all play. So
Okay.
I will not be worried if they are benched in that one game for me. But it just means that my bench should be strong enough to cope with it. Because the next
Sure.
game, they will be the ones who will play. You
Sure.
understand? So it shouldn't be something of a knee jerk where one player just plays, then the other, I'm in a hurry. Okay, Mahrez didn't play this game. Okay, so that means that I'm removing Mahrez for Sterling for the next game. If you do that, you made a mistake. So you just make sure that you relax. If the Mahrez points come, you take them. If they don't come to you, just relax because Pep is Pep. And you know that when they play too, they'll perform. So for
And
me,
shine for
I
you.
mean, as tough as it was, we just had to take it on the chin. That's so. I think that me personally, that's what worked for me. There's nothing I could do about it. Neither could you, or neither could any other FPL manager.
But for me, enough of Pep. Let's move on.
Yeah. Pep.
FPL is one in the last stretch. As we always see,
Yeah.
FPLs are FPL leagues and mini leagues, major leagues, country leagues are always won in the very last stretch. Normally in the very last 5 to 6 weeks. You see how your strategy works. This year's overall winner, Teddy Bears FC, won in the very last game week by captaining Mane when most people were captaining Salah, and even by a goal that his opponent conceded in the very last minute as well. So sometimes people are always very happy to rise up, but they forget that those who are chasing them are always chasing them with very greater vim. And it's
Yeah.
always good sometimes reserve your chips for the latter part of the season so that you can make the
Yeah.
push and then win as well. So what's your take on that?
Yeah. No, I think it's true. Towards the I think on the last day, the first two, is it Ola and another person? The first two,
Sure.
everyone's
Mm-hmm.
mind was on them because
Yeah.
everyone felt that one of these two would win.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes it very, the last game, for instance, I didn't want Pepe, right?
Okay.
You suggested to me that I should get Pepe.
Yeah. Yeah. I
You gave
remember
me a
that.
list of players that I should get. Yes, and I told you that I didn't feel it, but because you suggested it, I felt that okay, let me just go ahead with it. And that's what also
Mm-hmm.
helped me win my mini league, right?
Yeah.
Because
Wonderful.
yeah, exactly. Because if I hadn't gone in for Pepe, when it gets to the last stretch, there are some differentials you should go in for. Like I went in for Willock, it worked.
Yeah.
So all those things, when it's getting to the last stretch, let's let's lose. Try and play the game because it's a risk. Where you see yourself, you
Mm-hmm.
want to get better.
Yeah,
That's how life is. If you're always, stringent on the things that you want, you never get them. So
you
you
get it.
always have to take a risk. And towards the end, you know that you are trying to achieve something. If you don't risk
Mhm.
it and you play it safe, everyone is captaining Salah. What do you gain out of it? Right? The
Yeah,
last week I told you I wanted money, but
yeah,
unfortunately my money was not enough to get money. If it
enough.
was, I would have got money because I just felt that he had something to prove. I wouldn't have captain him all the same, but I just would have bought him for that cover that I wanted. So the last stretch is very important. And sometimes, when you're getting towards the end of the season, when you look at your rank, you feel disheartened. You don't want to play again. But that's the time you should even learn to play for fun. And trust me, when you play it for fun, that's when your points even go higher because you're not
That's
thinking
very
about anything. You're thinking about getting the points that you just play it. Okay, I want this player, you buy him. Fortunately for you, he scores, he gets a clean sheet, he gets an assist, he gets the bonus points, and you are also happy. So I think that was the end. Let's just play. But if you are on top of your mini league, please, you can't do this. But if you are chasing rank, yes.
yes,
If you're on top,
yes,
it's a
yes.
bit scary. You can't do
Scary.
any of these. But
Mm,
I mean, if you are chasing
sure,
rank, you are second, you are third, you are fourth in your mini league, you want to push up, you have to take risks and calculated ones
sure.
too. Not just any
Calculated
risk, but
ones
I
as
mean
well.
risk that will help.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure. That's true. Okay, so point number 7. Don't take too long to join a party. Normally we see some certain players and we say, oh, their form will drop, their form will drop, and they consistently try proving us wrong. And by the
Mm-hmm.
time you see people are benefiting from their points as well. Sometimes we are too cautious, but sometimes when the party starts, you better join the party before it's over. What do you say about these guys during the season?
Oh, I remember I wanted to take a -8 to bring Gundogan in, and we had a chat about it. And I remember very well that he told me not to take a -8. I mean, it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't. You didn't tell me to take a -8, not because of Gundogan, but because of the players that I wanted to bring in. I can't remember the other players, but Gundogan was one of them. So sometimes you take a -8 because you need to join the party, and when you don't,
Sure.
it affects you. Because I remember Lingard when he scored in his first game, his second game, I got him. In Nacho, when he
Smart move.
scored in his first 2 games, the third game, I got him. When I saw that
Smart
Gundogan in
move.
the second game, third game, I got him because you know that
Mm-hmm.
as soon as that form hits, you have to join the party. Other than
Sure.
that, you'll be in trouble.
You'll be in trouble.
For example, the Pookie party, last 2 seasons, I didn't join in
Last
and I
season.
regretted it. Yes, he
Sure.
scored a hat trick against Newcastle, and I was in trouble. So
Yeah.
when I
Yeah.
finally got him in, he turned out to be your DCL of the season. He did not score, he didn't assist, he didn't do anything. so
Mm-hmm.
so
Sure.
it was annoying. But what is your take on this too?
Yes. So as normally we talk about these players, some players are bandwagons. FPL advice normally says that when a player hits for 1 or 2 games, it's most likely that he will drop form afterwards. But we have seen players hit form for 5 weeks. So if a player hits 1, 2 game weeks consistently, and you see that he's in a team that has very good attacking returns, then it means most likely that he's been involved in very good attacking positions and attacking play.
Yes.
And if he has a very good run of fixtures, especially like for Gundogan, like this, he had a very good run of fixtures during that period of time, then it means that that run can continue. But if he has,
Yeah.
after scoring in those 2 games, if he meets a block of very difficult pitches like meeting Liverpool, Man City, Man U, Chelsea, you should be a bit cautious in bringing such
Mm-hmm,
a player. But if
mm-hmm,
the
mm-hmm.
player
Yeah.
has some moderate fixtures, then I think we can start going against that FPL advice of not jumping onto a bandwagon, because for like last 2
Mm-hmm.
seasons like that, people joined the Vardy party late, people joined the Inks party late, and before they joined, those of us who had already joined were already enjoying the points. So an advice to us as we
Yes,
enter a new
that's true.
season, we don't know whose party will have to join, but as soon as you see the party
Oh, Pookie.
starting, you better
Oh,
join it before
Pookie.
it's late.
We'll join Pookie
Pookie's
party.
back. Pookie.
Oh, we'll join
Mm-hmm.
Pookie party.
Mm-hmm. So that's it with the party as well. So I think that's our review for our top 7 lessons from this season. When we do our FPL live streams on Thursdays, when the pictures are released, within our FPL live stream every Thursday at 8 p.m. GMT, we will take our time and look at our personalized um, season review. One thing I realized, most of the time we do our season review and we put the lessons away. And when the new season starts, we start making the same mistakes that we promised ourselves never to do again. So what I will do is we'll try and keep our season review somewhere among one of on our screen, so that every time we see it and reminds us of what to do, so that we excel very well in the upcoming season.
Sure.
Any final comments before we go? Shout out to all our viewers, all those who have made time to join the FPL Ambassadors channel to watch this. We are promising for more content, more shows, and more interactive FPL content as well.
Yes. If you're not subscribed, please do, and tell a friend to also subscribe, so that we'll be able to give you very good content that will help you next season.
Sure. So we all look forward to the fixtures being released next week, Wednesday. 1 week from now, the fixtures will be released. And when the fixtures are released, it means that fantasy planning all starts. But when the game is officially launched for next season, that's when we'll start our FPL shows. So watch out for the FPL Ambassadors winning team shows every Thursday at 8 p.m. Okay, thank you. Shout out to you all. Thank you very much. Okay. Thanks to all our viewers. Bye-bye. Thanks to all on the stream as well. Bye then. Bye. Don't forget to subscribe and like our channel. Bye.